Have you heard the exciting news? On January 25th, 2023, Tammy Zonker is hosting her first annual and free virtual summit for you and 999 other fundraisers and nonprofit leaders. Transform23, also known as Fundraising Transformation Virtual Summit, is hyper-focused on equipping fundraisers everywhere to take your fundraising to the next level. We've put together 10 wow-packed sessions with you in mind, led by 10 incredible forward-thinking experts to help you transform your fundraising in 2023 and beyond. And a special shout out to our transformation sponsor, The Giving Block. Now here's the thing. While it's free for you to attend, spots are limited. So go to fundraisingtransform.com/transform23 and save your spot now.
If you're looking for proven ways to take your fundraising results to the next level, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Intentional Fundraiser Podcast, hosted by Tammy Zonker. Tammy has trained and led thousands of nonprofit organizations to collectively raise more than $500 million and is also recognized as one of America's top 20 fundraising experts. This is the podcast where Tammy equips and empowers amazing fundraising pros like you to transform your fundraising so you can transform the world. And now, let's hear from Tammy.
Support for this show is brought to you by Bloomerang. Our friends at Bloomerang really understand fundraisers, which is why they make donor management and online fundraising software that nonprofits love to use. To learn more and to join them in their vision of building a world inspired by giving, head over to bloomerang.com/intentional-fundraiser. I'm so excited to talk with you about Transform23, our free virtual fundraising summit on January 25th of 2023, where we'll be laser focused on bringing you world-renowned experts on giving and donor behavior, researchers, best-selling authors, technology leaders, and innovators, all for one purpose, equipping you to take your fundraising to the next level. We believe innovation is the best path forward. You've probably heard the saying, what got us here won't get us there. That's exactly why we created Transform23. Nonprofit organizations play a vital role in our communities and around the world. We bridge critical gaps. We advocate for social justice and equitable access to basic human resources like healthcare, education, housing, food, and clean drinking water. We help fund medical research and cure diseases. We enrich our community through the arts. We provide access to libraries, youth leadership development programs, to ensuring quality of life for our senior friends and homebound neighbors. Together in community, we help turn trauma into triumph for courageous refugees, for good people marginalized by poverty, by racism, addiction, by mental and behavioral health disorders. We respond to disasters, protect the environment and our precious land. We work to preserve wildlife and domestic animals like sweet little puppies and cats and farm animals and pot-bellied pigs. Our work for, with, and by community is largely designed so that people can become the amazing individuals they were born to be, so that there's equitable access to resources and experiences needed to succeed in life, so that we can all live well and sustainably in harmony with our communities, in the world, and with nature. That's pretty important stuff. I mean, imagine for a moment our world without nonprofit organizations doing the work we do. Like, truly imagine that. That is a sad and dark vision. The point being, we are so needed. We are so relevant. And yet, we are faced with the constant reality of doing more with less staff. Whether you're having a hiring freeze right now or your organization is choosing not to replace open positions currently, or maybe you can't find the right fundraising or marketing talent for your open positions. And unfortunately, a lot of organizations are investing less in training and development for staff. We've even had a few of our Fundraising Transformer community members downgrade from their growth level paid membership to our free mentor membership level. I'm happy to see that they're staying with us. They see the value of the connection. But that's a huge difference in the value and access to live and on-demand training every month to save $3 a day. And it breaks my heart because I know the extraordinary results our amazing growth members are achieving when they apply the learning. But they don't have a choice, right? Budgets are getting cut. So doing more with less is why we need to use technology wisely while still deepening the human connection with our supporters at the same time. That's why insights into behavioral science and philanthropic psychology are key to understanding our donors and appealing to them in the right way, at the right time, for the right gift amount, for the right impact, based on their values, their interests, their identity, capacity, and commitment level. So many organizations are still using side spreadsheets and manually calculating donor retention, making the idea of leveraging artificial intelligence or machine learning seem galaxies away. But it does not have to be that way. With our growing awareness and awakening of what it means to tell stories ethically through the lens of respecting and honoring diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility, we must retool. As Dr. Maya Angelou said, when you know better, do better. And I say it is time to do better, my friends. And that's not just true for our storytelling and our communications. It's true for our boards too. Diversity and inclusion at the board table cannot just be a checkbox for the number of women on your board or the number of people of color on your board or the number of young professionals or even having board members with lived experiences similar to those who participate in your programs. While those things are good, really, really good, we must listen to our diverse colleagues in those board meetings, in those committee meetings. They bring a unique perspective that will strengthen our organizations and guide our governance in ways many of us can't even imagine. We don't know what we don't know, but we can listen. We can have conversations. We can learn. We can allow ourselves to expand through the views and lived experiences of others who are different than us, but who are similar to us in our love for this mission. For all of these reasons and more, we created Transform23. And thanks to our incredible sponsors, it's free for 1,000 fundraisers and nonprofit leaders around the world. Our sponsors, honestly, they didn't need much convincing. Once we shared why we created Transform23 and the lineup of our world-class speakers, they were in. And we are deeply grateful to our transformation sponsor, The Giving Block, our official texting sponsor, Tatango. Our presenting sponsors are Juna Solutions, Donor Perfect, and Community Boost. And our premier sponsor, Bloomerang, who also generously sponsors this podcast. Thank you, Bloomerang. And of course, all 8 of our principal sponsors, Definitive, the Institute for Charitable Giving, Capital Campaign Toolkit, BombBomb, The Common Good, the Institute for Sustainable Philanthropy, Endowment Partners, and Beard and Bowler. We align with JFK's sentiment when he said, "High tide raises all boats." We want this transformational content available to all fundraisers and nonprofit leaders everywhere. Equal, ungated access to take your fundraising to the next level to help you transform your fundraising in 2023 and well beyond. Now, a little bit about the format. We have 10 incredible experts speaking starting at 9 a.m. through 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. I know it's a marathon, but we have a global audience and we want to accommodate as many time zones as possible. So we invite you to pick and choose the sessions you want to attend or stay all day, right? Pack a thermos and some snacks and just cozy up to your laptop. Now, generally, speakers will present for 50 minutes plus 10 minutes for Q&A. Registered guests will be notified when the collection of speaker recordings is available for purchase and viewing. Again, registration to attend Transform23 Live is free. Access to the collection of recordings is just $23 US. Now, we'll have 10-minute breaks in between speakers, and during those times, you'll enjoy live music from an emerging Detroit artist named Diliante. He's an incredible urban violinist, and his energy is fabulous. You'll also enjoy a few random drawings for prizes throughout the day. Super fun, right? Let me talk about our speakers and what you will learn. Our first speaker of the day will be Professor Adrian Sargent, a man who really needs no introduction. He's a prolific author, a researcher, a speaker, and co-founder of the Institute for Sustainable Philanthropy. He'll be talking about Donor Centricity 3.0, the philanthropic psychology way. He'll share what we can learn from the science of how human beings form relationships to inform how we might build stronger, more loving, more fulfilling relationships with our supporters. In this session, Adrian will unpack relationship fundraising and the concept of donor centricity, drawing on the latest science from philanthropic psychology. He'll walk us through the concepts of identity, well-being, and love, and how they can be leveraged to quite literally double your fundraising income. Now, boom, who doesn't want to double your fundraising income and deepen relationships with donors? This session will be followed by brilliant Professor Jen Shang. Jen is the world's first PhD in philanthropy, and she's also the world's only philanthropic psychologist. Her research has been covered in the New York Times, the BBC, The Guardian, the Chronicle of Philanthropy, Advancing Philanthropy, and the Nonprofit Times, and certainly published in many, many academic journals. She's also the co-founder of the Institute for Sustainable Philanthropy alongside Adrian Sargent. She'll be talking about meaningful philanthropy. In this session, Jen will explore the psychological theories of meaning and meaningfulness in the philanthropic context based on new research conducted with high net worth individuals. So they're unveiling this incredible new research in London the same day as Transform23. So you may not be hearing it first, but you'll be hearing it second right here at Transform23. Drawing on these new findings from the study, Jen will discuss the psychological challenges and opportunities posed by engaging in meaningful philanthropy and focus on the identity and self behind the gift, as opposed to the motives and processes that lead to giving, right? So more focus on identity and self versus motives and processes, which has been how we've typically engaged in philanthropy. So this is what I mean by next level thinking. Next in the lineup of brilliant speakers is Una Asili. Una is the Ephraimson Chair in Philanthropy and Economics and Associate Dean for Research and International Programs at the Indiana University Lilly Family School of Philanthropy. She also serves as Dean's Fellow for the Mays Family Institute on Diverse Philanthropy. She'll be talking about the factors shaping philanthropy now. As we consider trends in research a full 2 years after the pandemic shutdown began, one thing is clear. The philanthropic landscape continues to be both complex and rapidly changing. Economic factors, social values, the impact of the racial justice movement, and the rapid rise in the use of technology have all influenced changes in giving. So, what are the key factors shaping philanthropy now? How do they impact we as nonprofits? What are donor motivations, and what are the most effective strategies to building relationships with donors? What's the impact of technology? Who is giving and who is getting? Juicy, right? Our friends at Bloomerang know the importance of year-end fundraising to a nonprofit's longevity and success throughout the year. We know that 50% of nonprofits receive a majority of their annual contributions from October to December. To learn how you can make the most of this giving season, head over to bloomerang.com/intentional-fundraiser to get your copy of the 13 year-end fundraising tips. Next, we have Michael Goriaran, president of Arjuna Solutions, an artificial intelligence service provider. He'll be talking about applying behavioral economics modeling and artificial intelligence services to reveal new levels of donor insight. It's important that we nonprofit fundraisers receive real-time insights into our donor sentiment, especially in a challenging economy. Michael will discuss the principles and applications of AI in nonprofit fundraising. He'll share case studies to illustrate the success that many nonprofits are having using AI to develop those greater insights into donor sentiment, affinity, and in return, their improved giving, the reduced cost per dollar raised that we can experience, and the increase in donor retention that's possible. By the end of Michael's session, you'll know how AI can deepen your understanding of donor sentiment, where to implement AI in your fundraising process, how to ensure the integrity of your fundraising data and AI processes, how to protect donor privacy and ensure that AI does not inject bias into your fundraising, and how to select an AI service vendor. There are a lot of different AI platforms and you need to choose wisely. Next, Alex Wilson, co-founder of The Giving Block, will join us. Now, The Giving Block is the leading crypto philanthropy platform that connects nonprofits with crypto donors. Alex will be schooling us on Crypto Philanthropy 101, how to incorporate cryptocurrency into your fundraising strategy. Now, crypto philanthropy programs are the fastest growing revenue channel for hundreds of nonprofit organizations, including United Way Worldwide, Save the Children, and the American Cancer Society. In this session, Alex will explain what cryptocurrency is and the size of the potential donor base. He'll explain how to incorporate cryptocurrency into your fundraising strategy and how to decide which crypto philanthropy platform is best for you and your organization. Next, a real treat, Ethan Butte. Ethan is the chief evangelist at BombBomb. He's Wall Street Journal best-selling co-author of Human-Centered Communication and of Rehumanize Your Business. And he's host of The Evangelist and the Consumer Experience podcast. He'll be talking to us about creating human connection across the digital divide. The process of building trust and maintaining relationships with all of our stakeholders is so much more digitally distant today than even a few years ago. Ethan will talk about how and why simple video messages in place of some of our faceless emails, voicemails, and text messages can help overcome the challenge of this digital distance, as well as some other challenges that you may not even be aware of. So in this session, you'll learn what are the 2 criteria at the root of every social judgment, why attention is not the currency of the digital economy, and what is, how a human-centered approach to your communication improves results, and the when, how, and why to mix video messages into your donor, volunteer, and partner, and even employee outreach. Next in the speaker lineup is Calliope Glaros. Now, Calliope is the founder and a principal consultant at Philanthropy Without Borders, based in Portland, a firm with expertise in ethical storytelling, donor engagement, and strategic planning. Her work is informed by experience as a frontline fundraiser, intercultural trainer, and, frankly, a former recipient of nonprofit services. Her session is so important. It's titled From Exploitation to Empathy, Ethical Storytelling for Nonprofit Communications. Since the term poverty porn was first introduced in 1981, much has been said about the exploitation of human suffering to inspire charitable giving. Yet many organizations still struggle to communicate their impact in a way that authentically represents the issue and preserves the dignity of those that are affected by it. How do we portray our program participants as their own agents of change, while admitting that they also need our help? In a refreshing take on this provocative issue, Calliope invites us to move beyond shifts in lexicon and imagery in order to embrace methods that both challenge assumptions and inspire empathy. You will leave this session with an applicable strategy and concrete process you can take back to your organization and begin using immediately. By the end of this wow-packed session, you will understand how exploitive storytelling impacts our organizations, our clients, and our communities. You will just be able to distinguish between exploitation, sympathy, and empathy in storytelling. identifying ethical storytelling practices and principles that could be applied at your organizations, and she'll walk us through several approaches to telling stories more ethically and equitably. Next, my good friend Cherian Koshi will speak. And Cherian is a rock star, especially if you define rock star as a really heady, semi-nerdy fundraiser turned consultant. And I say that affectionately. He's a CFRE, an AFP master trainer. He is a chartered advisor in philanthropy, a certified scale architect, a certified mind genomics advisor, and he holds certifications in behavioral economics from Dan Ariely's Irrational Labs as well as Harvard University. See what I mean about the semi-nerdy fundraiser, which I love. So with 20 plus years of fundraising experience in annual fund, major gifts, plan giving, and capital campaigns, Cherian is one of the most sought after trainers and speakers in our sector. And as the head of fundraising for various nonprofits, he has personally raised more than $100 million. So his session is about the unexpected forces that influence your donors. As behavioral science continues to gain popularity, more attention is directed toward what we call nudges that impact donors and their giving behavior. So understanding the influences on donor behavior can make a significant difference in the activities and the engagements and the outcomes of donor giving. So if you attend this session, you'll be able to differentiate rational choice theory and behavioral science approaches to understanding donor psychology and reasons for giving. You'll understand how heuristics or mental shortcuts can lead to biases in donor behavior. You'll understand how to critically evaluate giving strategies through the lens of behavioral science to improve the predictive power of your appeals, of your asks. And you'll be able to develop a contextual framework for testing, describing, and evaluating donor engagement and choices. So next, let me tell you about my friend Crystal Cherry. She's the president and executive consultant with the Board Pro. And at the Board Pro, they believe that the most successful organizations understand that who's at the top matters. She's a champion for fundraisers, effective board leadership, and has a special gift for helping individuals and organizations understand and embrace diversity, inclusion, equity, and access. Crystal coaches and trains governing and working boards to harness and optimize their individual and collective talents and resources to truly make an impact in their organizations. She'll be talking to us about recruiting diverse board members to your nonprofit board. In this session, you'll learn how to work to ground organizational values and recruitment practices so that they are inclusive, how to define board roles by accepting accountability for setting the tone with deliberate and strategic action to increase the presence of people of color on your board. As stewards of the public good, our boards must act to alter and eliminate beliefs, practices, and policies that perpetuate structural and institutional racism and exclusion. This means being intentional about changing the racial composition of its board members and eliminating practices that alienate and exclude others from feeling welcome. By the end of Crystal's session, you'll understand why board diversity matters. You'll be able to identify the characteristics of an inclusive, ready board, build a pipeline for diverse members, locate sources to recruit diverse members, and embrace the value of board inclusive culture. And finally, we'll wrap up the day together, you and me, unpacking the key differences between donor centricity and community centricity, answering the hot topic question, who is the hero in the nonprofit sector? It is my fondest hope that you will register and join me at Transform23 on January 25th in the new year. If you sometimes feel overwhelmed by your fundraising goals, if you want to innovate and take your fundraising to that next level, but aren't sure what to do next or where to start, if you've ever wished you had more hours in the day, if you know you need to elevate your fundraising strategy, and you just need a little inspiration and a few more tools in your toolbox, register now for free. If you can't make every session, register now for free. And even if you can't make every session, registered guests will be given an option to access a collection of Transform23 session recordings for just $23 US. Join me and this incredible team of speakers and sponsors to transform your fundraising in 2023 and beyond. Register now at fundraisingtransformed.com/transform23. I'll see you there. That's it for this episode of the Intentional Fundraiser Podcast. If you like this podcast, subscribe and download each episode on your favorite podcast platform. Share it on social media with the hashtag #TheIntentionalFundraiser and tag me, Tammy Zonker, and you'll be entered into a drawing for some great swag, books, and courses. And if you like today's show, you might also be interested in becoming a member of my Fundraising Transformer community, where I go live twice a month with my members with fundraising training and group coaching to help transform those fundraising issues that keep you awake at night, where I pull back the curtain on how you can take your fundraising results to the next level by teaching ways you can improve your development operations, create a results-driven, donor-centric development plan, strengthen donor relationships, improve your donor retention rates, and build a raging monthly giving program and a successful major gifts program, and how you can approach each day to ensure you'll perform at your highest level so you can be the best fundraiser and the best person you can possibly be. You can learn more about becoming a member at fundraisingtransformed.com/transformers. Thank you for showing up and for having the courage and determination to transform your fundraising so you can transform the world. Bye for now. Thank you to our friends at Bloomerang for supporting this episode. Learn why fundraisers love using Bloomerang and grab your copy of the 13 Year-End Fundraising Tips ebook at bloomerang.com/intentional-fundraiser. The link is in the show notes.